Right, moving on to set number 2. Now this is a set where I think 2 questions can definitely be done very quickly. One question will take a bit of time. The last question will actually take a lot of time, so you could have left that. So a student who attempts this set could have done 2 questions for sure. Third question, if a little bit of time is spent, but probably 1 question should have been left. Let's go ahead and take a look at what is happening in this. So we have a set where it's about calculating the number of marks, and there are 3 sections, that is quantitative reasoning, verbal reasoning, and logical reasoning, right? And the number of questions are 28, 30 and 32 respectively in these 3 sections. A student gets 5 marks for every correct answer. The first 6 questions incorrect will give you -1 mark, and 7th onwards you will get 2 marks negative for every wrong answer. And not attempting a question does not deduct any mark. The cutoffs are 54, 43, 41, and the overall cutoff is 157. So if you add these 3, you will notice that there is 90, 130, 90, 130, 130, 4, 5, 6, 7, 138. So you will notice that meeting the 3 individual cutoffs is not enough. You need a bit more than that. So somewhere you have to get more marks. So that's the information given to us. Let's take a look at the first question. What is the minimum number of questions a student needs to attempt to obtain total marks equal to the overall cutoff? So the overall cutoff is 197. So the total mark should be equal to 157. Please keep in mind 157 is the required limit. And the marks in every section greater than or equal to the cutoff. So every section you can get more than or equal to, but total should be exactly 157. So if you start with quant, and I want to look at minimum number of questions a student needs to attempt. So I will try to minimize wrongs and maximize my corrects. So 11 questions if I say are correct, I'll get 55 marks here. I'll meet my cutoff. If I say 9 questions are correct, I'll get 45 marks here. The cutoff is met. So what did I get total? Total I got 100 marks. Now I need 57 marks in the third section. 57 marks in the third section, exactly 57 I need. How can I get exactly 57 marks? Now first I will get 12 questions correct, which gives me 60 marks and 3 wrongs. I have to get 3 wrongs because I should exactly match 157. So totally how many did I attempt? 11 plus 9, 20, 20 plus 2, 32 plus 3, 35. 32 is a trap. Many of you would have just taken total greater than or equal to 157. This is wrong. It should be exactly 157. So you need guaranteed 3 wrongs. Hence the answer is option D, 35. Second question. In how many ways can a student get a score of 54 marks in the quantitative section? So quant exactly 54. So 54 I can get in 2 ways. Case number 1. My total wrongs are less than or equal to 6. This is my first case. So my number of corrects are C, my number of wrongs are W, and the number of unattempts are U. So 5C minus W should be equal to 54, right? The total count, the total score. So correct should be equal to 54 plus W by 5. Now remember, these are number of correct questions. So you should have an integral value, positive integral value. So your W can be 1 or your W can be 6. In both the cases, you'll get correct questions. So in this case, the correct questions will be 11, and this will be 54 plus 6, 60 by 12. The correct will be 12. Now I'll take the second case. The second case is, what if my wrongs are more than 7? So if I'm getting more than 7 wrongs, then my total score will be 5 times the number of corrects minus 6 marks. Why the 6 marks? Because the first 6 wrongs will give me 6 wrongs. Will give me 6 negatives. And for the remaining, so how many the number of wrongs are 7. So 2 times of W minus 6. Because if the total wrongs are W and the value of W is greater than 7, then the first 6 anyway will get 1 mark each. The remaining are W minus 6. Here for W minus 6, I'll get 2 marks negative for each. And this should add up to 54. Or this gives me 5C minus 2W is equal to 60 minus 12, right? So because 6 comes here, becomes 60, this is minus 2 into minus 6 becomes plus 12, the other side becomes minus 12, so this is 48. So I'll get correct equal to 48 plus 2w by 5c. Once again, notice your w should be greater than 7. So, and c should be an integer, should be divided by 5. This is 5. So c should be an integer. So my w can be 2. This is ruled out because, sorry, my w can be 1. In which case my c will be 48 plus 2, 50, 50 by 2, 50 by 5, 10. But this is ruled out. This is not possible because I'm looking at cases where w is greater than 7. Next, my w can be 6, in which case my corrects will be 12 plus 50, 60, 60 by 5, which is 12. This is ruled out. Why? Because again, I'm looking at wrongs greater than 7. Next, my w can be 6 plus 5, so that is 11. So my corrects will be 11 2s are 22, 22 plus 48, so 30 plus 40, 70 by 5. So 5 1s are 5, 5 4s are 20, so the total is 25. I can have this in my quant because total is 28. So this is a valid case. Next case will be my w can be 16. If my w is 16, my corrects will be how much? 16 2s are 32, 32 plus 48, 80, 80 by 5. 80 by 5 is 16. So you can see the total is crossing 16 plus 16, 32. But we have only 28 questions in the quant section. So this is not a valid case, and anything after this is not valid. So greater than 7 we have 1 case, less than 7 we have 2 cases. Totally we have 3 cases, option B. Right, question number 7. So this is the question which will take a little bit of thinking and it's not very straightforward. So let's go ahead and take a look at it. We are looking at what is the maximum number of questions a student can attempt incorrectly and still clear the overall cutoff and each of the sectional cutoff. So we are trying to maximize the wrongs. So let's start with that. So if I want 54 marks minimum, so first what I'll do is let me get my cutoff first. So I will get 11 corrects, which gives me 55 marks, which means I got 1 mark more than what I need, right? Now, how many questions are left? Out of 28 questions, I got 11 corrects, which means I'm left with 17 questions now. Now, from here onwards, what I'll do is, if I take one correct question, I will nullify the 5 marks because the correct question will give me 5 marks. So I will try to see how many wrongs do I need to make this extra 5 0. So I need 5 wrongs because the first 6 questions is 1 mark each. So 6 questions are gone. So how many questions are left? 11 questions are left. Now in this 11 questions, I'll get 1 more correct. If I get 1 more correct, now the issue is the next wrong. I can get 1 wrong, which will give me -1 mark. But the total 6 wrongs are over. Next wrong will give me 2 marks. Next wrong will give me -2 marks. So here, 1 correct, the second correct here will give me 3 wrongs. And total will still be 0 effect. The effect is 0. So I used up how many more? Out of the 11 questions, I used up 4 questions. So I'll have now 7 questions left. If I give 1 more correct, now if I give 1 correct, I need only 2 wrongs because this 1 correct is +5 marks. This 2 wrongs is -4 marks because 2 marks per question. Now if I want to nullify it, I'll take 1 more wrong. If I take 3 wrongs, then this will become -6. So basically what happens is if I use up 1 correct and 3 wrongs, so 4 questions if I use up, I'll be left with 3 questions only, and this 1 extra mark that I got, so 55 now becomes 54. This extra mark is gone because this +5 and this -6 net effect is -1. So now my total is 54, just borderline. Now I have 3 questions. How should I deal with them? I can't have zeros, I can't have negatives because it will go below my cutoff. So I will have 1 correct and definitely 2 wrongs. So this will give me what? 5 marks and -4. So the net effect will again become 55 marks. I'll get 1 extra mark, 55, and 0 questions are left out. So how many wrongs did I get here? 5 wrongs, 3 wrongs. So 5 plus 3, 8. 8 plus 3, 9, 10, 11 plus 2. 11 plus 2, 13 wrongs I got. See, similarly, if you do the same analysis for the second section, we need 43 marks. So let's take the borderline case. So let me just erase this. So I got, okay, let me write this down also. How many marks did I get? As of now, I got 55 marks. 13 wrongs, 55 marks. Okay. Now let me do the same analysis for the second part. The second part, which is verbal reasoning, right? So if I do the same analysis for verbal reasoning, you're starting with 43 marks. So what is the multiple of 5 nearest to 43 but greater than it? 9 5s are 45. So you can start with 5 correct questions, right? So I finished erasing this. So let me start with 9 correct questions. So 9 correct gives me 45 marks, which means I got 2 marks more than what I need, right? Now, how many questions are left out? Out of 30, 9 are used, so 21 questions are left. Now, in this 21 questions, I try to make sure that the total will add up to 0. So I will take one more correct question. I will get 5 wrongs. I will take the next correct question. This time I'll get only 3 wrongs. The same logic that we have seen. So totally, how many questions did I use up? 1 plus 1, 2 corrects and 8 wrongs. So totally I used up 10 questions, which means I'm left with 11 questions now. The change is, the total is still 45, because remember, this total is 0. The net change is 0 because of this. Now I will take 2 correct questions, that is 10 marks, and 5 wrongs I can take. So I used up 7 questions. So 2 correct questions is plus 10, 5 wrongs is minus 10. So net effect is again 0. But how many questions are used up? 7 questions are used up. So out of 11, 7 are used. How many more are left? 11 minus 7, 4 questions are left. Then what I'll do, I'll take 1 question correct and the remaining 3 questions I'll say wrong. So this is plus 5 minus 6. So the net effect is now this plus 2 marks. So 45 is losing, net effect is minus 1. It is still above my cutoff. So I am getting, in this case, 44 marks. And how many wrongs? 3 wrongs, 3 plus 5, 8 wrongs, 8 plus 8, 16 wrongs. I got 16 wrongs. And the final case is the 32 questions of logical reasoning. Total is 41. So once again, let me start with 45, which is a multiple of 5. 5 nines, so 9 corrects I'll start. Okay, here before starting with 9 corrects, okay, I'm not just looking at the cutoff now. I have to look at the overall score also. So here, please don't just look at the cutoff, look at the overall score. Clear the overall cutoff. So my total should be greater than or equal to 157. Now, what is the total right now? The total right now is 99, which means here 41 is of no relevance. We need minimum 58 marks now. We need a minimum of 58 marks, right? So that is the catch point now. So 58, the nearest 5 multiple of 58 is 60. So I will say 12 corrects gives me 60 marks. And this is basically plus 2. I got 2 more than what I need. Because 58 I need minimum, I got 60, I got 2 more. And how many questions are left out? Out of 32 questions, 12 questions are used, so 20 questions are left out. Right? Next, 1 correct, 5 wrongs. Next, 1 more correct, 3 wrongs. Net effect is 0. The questions left are 10. Next, I will take 2 corrects, 5 wrongs. If 2 corrects and 5 wrongs, again net effect is 0. Right? And how many, out of 10 questions, 7 are used, so 3 questions are left. 3 questions are left. I will take 1 more correct and 2 wrongs. So this is plus 5, this is minus 4. The net effect will be plus 1 mark. So I will increase it by plus 1. There's no problem with that. I can increase it. So what do I get? So how many mistakes are there, or how many errors are there, or wrongs are there? 5 plus 3, 8. 8 plus 5, 13. 13 plus 2, 15. So we have 15 over here. So total number of wrongs, maximized wrongs, are 13 plus 16 plus 15. So 13 plus 16 is 29. 29 plus 15 is 44. So that is your answer. This is a bit tricky. It is not straightforward. So this ideally should have been left in the exam. Right. Question number 8. Here we are talking about the number of ways in which a student can get exactly 0 in logical reasoning. So we can again break this into 2 cases. Case number 1, the number of errors, wrongs, are less than or equal to 6, which means 5c minus w should be equal to 0, or c should be equal to w by 5. So your w can be 0 or 5. That's it. Only 2 possibilities. Now let's take a look at the second case. Case number 2, your mistakes are greater than 7, greater than or equal to 7, right? Basically equal to 7. So then you're looking at 5c minus 6 marks, because the first 6 questions will get 1 mark each, minus of w minus 6. These many questions you lose 2 marks each, so into 2 is equal to 0, or you should be getting 5c equal to 6 plus 2w minus 12 by, so by will come later, so this will become 5. So you'll get c is equal to 2w minus 6 by 5. So now c is an integer, which means c can be 0. If C is 0, let's see. C is 0, which means the numerator here is 0. So let's take a case, C equal to 0. If this is the case, then 2W minus 6 is equal to 0 or W equal to 3. But this is not acceptable because we are looking at cases where W is greater than 7. Then if you're looking at C equal to 1, if C equal to 1, that means 2W minus 6 should be equal to 1. Should be equal to 5 because 5 by 5 gives you 1. Or W will be equal to 11 by 5, 5.5. Not valid because this is not an integral value. You can't have half a question wrong. Then if C equal to 2, you will get 2W minus 6 equal to 10. Because numerator is 10, 10 by 5 only gives you 2. Which means your wrong should be 16 by 2, which is 13. This is acceptable. This can be acceptable. So we got one case over here. So what is the total number of questions? 13 plus 2, 14. No problem. If C equal to 3, you will again similarly see this. This will be the W will be a fraction, which is not possible. You will see C equal to 4, in which case you will be getting 2W minus 6 equal to 20. 20, so your W will be equal to 26 by 2, which is 26. Oh, sorry, this is 16 by 2. This is 8. This is 8, and here this will be 13. So 13 plus 4, the total is 13 plus 4, which is 17, which is valid. So C5 is not possible. Odd numbers of C's are not possible. So the next possible value will be C equal to 6, which means 2W minus 6 will be 30. So your W should be 36 by 2, which is 18. 18 plus 6 total will be 24, which is still valid because the total is 32. Then C equal to 8, in which case you'll get 2W minus 6 equal to 40, or your W equal to 46 by 2. 46 by 2 is 23. 23 plus 8, which is 31, valid. So we have how many cases? 1, 2, 3 and 4, and we have 2 cases here, 5 and 6. So totally there are 6 possible cases. That's your answer.